What up, what up, what up? How's it going, guys? My name is Tony Slums. I'm a producer, engineer, and writer, and today we're going to continue on the last conversation we had, which was loops. Now, like I said, wasn't really a big fan of them. Slowly been changing my tune about them, and now I'm starting to really see how much you really can do with loops if you treat them as, at least for myself, as long as you treat them kind of like how you would any other sound, any other flip, boom bap, especially when you know where you're getting it from. It makes it a lot easier. So what I'm gonna go through right now is what I did with the Kato loop. Actually, a whole stack of Kato loops. He put out this free kit. I copped, of course. I think the only thing you really need to do is make sure you shoot him the publishing, and I always try to tag him on anything that I do that's out on BeatStars. So shout out to him. You know what I mean? 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Either way. So why lie? Why get mad? So what I ended up doing with this one was a little bit different than I did with most loops, and this is what I treated the loops like instruments. So the first thing you're gonna hear is that I did this flute melody of his. Here it is. So with this melody, what I ended up really doing was I just focused on that first note, and then I ran it through a piano roll. Now on Machine, once you run a sample on there, it'll automatically go to the piano roll, so you can play it like an instrument. So I was really able to just kind of treat it like any regular flute, and this is the melody I ended up coming up with. I should be screen recording, huh? I should be screen recording. Boom. Alright, so now that I got the screen going on there again, like I was saying before, this is the flute melody. And I ended up just turning into a MIDI, so cool enough sound, nothing really too crazy or too bad. But what I ended up doing was I was going through his loops. Let me see if I can find y'all. Kato Melodic Loops. Shout out to him. So this one I believe was in the flutes. And being I started off with this one and it was on G major, G minor, what I ended up doing was I ended up looking through his other sounds, and just all I was looking for was that same signature, was a G major. So the next one that I ended up doing was this kind of like a weird sound. And again, did the same thing. I just focused on one sound of it, and then I ended up playing a whole MIDI out of it. And then for the hook, it was one of the most simplest ones. He had this bell hit that just really reminded me of like a doorbell, hence the name of the beat called Doorbells. It was a really, really simple one for what it is. Even these little sounds right here, that was the original. And I ended up just pitching it to a high, and then I gated it, and what I ended up doing was making this weird kind of like a synth. Just kind of play with, just go back and forth with the doorbell and stuff like that. It's on the second part of where the hook would be. And I think that's pretty much all of the sounds that I ended up utilizing for this one from him. On the drums, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I used some of Arab Music's drum kit and the Homeboy Sounds by Coop. And I'm a big fan of both of those. God damn. And yeah, man, so it just goes to show that even when it comes down to loops, you can really still do so much more with it, man. I mean, there's so many ways you can cut, you can flip, you can literally treat it as an instrument. And the conversation that I had out of doing this one with a friend of mine was, well, why even give him any type of shout out if you weren't really using the original loop? You know what I mean? Like, I played my own MIDI. Like I treat it like you would treat any other instrument, and I'm not out here giving credit to anyone who does my sound design and stuff like that. But I got to this loop, to this sound, when I was having a writer's block, a producer block. And if it wasn't for the way I heard this sound, there was no way that I would have been able to create this shit. So regardless of whether or not I used his loop, I used the sound, and the sound was what brought this beat out of it. So of course I'm gonna give the shout out. Of course I'm gonna give the respect to it and stuff like that, man. And even if that was like my one case, I still utilize the actual bell hit for the hook for the most part. I mean, it's not in your face with it, but it's there. You know, like it's I'm using it. You know what I mean? So don't be a dick. If you're gonna use someone's loops and shit, of course give them a shout out and stuff like that. If you're using any of my loops sound from the den, shameless plug, please give me a shout out, man. I would love to hear what you guys are doing, man, and stuff like that. So that was my little mini rant. Not much of a tutorial, but I just wanted to kind of show y'all kind of behind the scenes of one of these loops, and give a shout out, of course, to Kato, the producer, on just the inspiration that I was given by hearing this loop and shit like that, man. If you guys want to see more of this, or have any actual questions, or want me to go in depth to stuff, by all means put me in the comments and stuff like that. I probably won't do videos for it. I'm not a big fan of tutorials, but I love discussions. So if you guys down to have a discussion, I'm down to have a discussion with y'all as well too, man. So again, like, subscribe, share, please share. I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can start cashing in on some of this stuff. And yeah, man, thank y'all, man. Deuces.